Do you think men naturally want multiple women?
Do I don't want? No.
That sounded so guilty.
No. It did sound guilty, but I was drinking water.
Why have to think so hard?
Why?
Do you want multiple women?
Why do I have to think so
Yes
hard?
or no?
Do I want multiple? No.
Why are you reading the question?
Because... Assalamu alaikum guys, what's going on? We are the X's and welcome back to the channel. Is texting somebody flirtatiously without anything physical happening considered cheating? Is it grounds for divorce? Can it be forgiven? Those are the things we'll be discussing in today's video.
So I was scrolling social media with like the 2 minutes spare that I have, and I came across this post that a Muslim woman sent in to another Muslim woman. It's like an advice lady. She sent in a question about if emotional flirting over text is considered cheating, and the responses to that were wild to me. Like, the fact that some people think one way and some people think the other way is crazy to me, because to me there's only one answer to that. so I think that we should go into that. I'll explain what the post was, and yeah, it's worth discussing, because I think that you and I might have differing views on it.
Do you know my viewpoints on things? They kind of like evolve in the I can play both sides. I've got a viewpoint right now, but let's read it and then see, and then we'll see where we end up. So
this is the message that came in. Assalamu alaikum, sister. What advice would you give someone who knows her husband is cheating on her? Not physically cheating, but flirting with a lot of women over text. He does all his responsibilities towards the family, and there's nothing that one can complain about him. Should she just ignore his flaws and accept him? And if yes, then how should she do it? What ways will help her? Also, this is her second marriage and she has a daughter who is 7.
Alright, so let's go initial thoughts.
Wild.
do you need to say? What would your initial response to that be?
My initial response that stands out is when she says he's doing all his things by his family. He's obviously not.
He's obviously not, yeah?
He's obviously not.
I would agree, he's obviously not.
He's not doing his duty by his family.
Apart from the loyal bit.
And I personally think that emotional cheating is cheating. I think that is cheating. I don't think it's like, oh, that is a lesser form. And I know we differ on this, and I disagree. It's cheating.
Okay. Firstly, let's make it clear that this is something I do not do. Okay? Before everybody starts assuming that it's something I do, it's something I definitely don't do. Can you just verify that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Verify it too. Right. So it's something I don't do yet. Yeah. But I have a problem with words. Cheating. Anyway, so look, what is that a red flag? 100% that's a red flag. I can't advise people to leave relationships. I don't, the fact that somebody's already mentioned, it's a second thing. It's like, oh, well, you know.
That's what you take
you take the L. She's got a 7-year-old. She's the thing. She should probably just say, oh, it's okay, and kind of resolve that internally with some therapy, just things like that. I don't really like that take, but you have to be realistic and say, and the context is the world that we live in today. Divorce isn't what it used to be. I don't like that. I don't think anybody should ever enter into something when the dynamic shifts like that. I think that is just like dog doo-doo. Do you know what I mean? You say, okay, well, there are things I'll accept. I've got to compromise now. And it might be a reality that you do have to compromise certain things, but I just don't like it.
To me, it's like a relationship ender, because you've broken that trust. So how can you rebuild that trust? It's not about oh, that is such a despicable thing that you've done, I'm going to punish you by leaving. It's not the punishment of it. It's the fact that, where can we go from here? How do you proceed after that? Every time that person's on their phone now. Do you know what I mean?
And there's a conversation there. I think this woman's context is like second married 7-year-old. It could happen, like we said, we just got married. You could find that.
I bet it happens all the time.
No, but is it resolvable then?
People think a phone is like not the same, and
is it resolvable then? I just came from single, texting women, got married, still
It probably happened.
Do you know? No, but did it
happen with you?
No, it didn't, because I deleted everyone's number. Is it something? Is it something that when you step into marriage, you'd be like, see the ends of whatever? Do you know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, sorry, I do need to get into marriage set. If that's popping up a year in, is that? Do you know what I mean? So it's a different context. Anyway,
Should I tell you what the person
Yeah,
responded?
so let's go official response first.
This is what she says. Wa alaikum assalam. In Islam, flirting with someone who is not your spouse is considered to be under the umbrella of zina, which means fornication, and means that your husband is not doing one of the commands of Allah mentioned in the Quran, which is for men and women to lower their gaze. I am a sex educator, not a therapist. I recommend that you speak to your husband, tell him how it makes you feel, and get him to agree to stop doing it. I also highly recommend for you and your husband to work with a professional marriage therapist. Plus, you can both also speak to a trusted Islamic sheikh or scholar about this.
A bit reserved viewpoint, yeah? She basically said, I'm not the guy to tell you to leave, which is what I was. I'm not the guy to tell you to leave. But there's some red flags there, obviously. Go and work it out.
Okay, I'm trying to put myself in the shoes, right? And it's not just that the guy was texting other women, as in, you can maybe... You know, sometimes maybe there's a time in your marriage, not in ours so far, alhamdulillah, but I'm saying like there's a time in your marriage where maybe you're seeking attention from the opposite sex. It's not just that he's happens to be texting a lot of women and be like, oh, should we go over this work thing, that thing? He's actually flirting with other women.
Well, numerous women as well, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
It's a bit of a
one, there's more than
one
woman. One, there's more than one woman. And two, he's not just talking to them, he's flirting with them. Yeah. That is like so far past the line that... And why is there so many women as well? Anyway, it doesn't matter. 1 woman, 100 women, you've got issues in it. But I'm saying though, like, if you did that to me, I don't see how we proceed after that.
So if this happens now, you deal with your initial reactions. You deal with your, oh, my trust, where am I at? How does this feel? You go and get some consultation. Are you going to come and someone says, look, why don't you try and speak into him about it? Maybe he can give you some assurances. Maybe you can go to therapy. Would you accept therapy or relationship counselling at that point to resolve this if I requested it? Because I'm telling you, a guy who's been caught out, unless he's just a dog and don't care, he's going to say, oh, well, what can I do? Men that do things like this, sometimes if they get caught, they'll be like, oh, well, you know what I mean? Other people will be like, oh, I didn't mean it, and what they'll do, they don't want to be in a relationship. You want to be viable to other people, basically. So what they'll do is say, look, I'll do the counselling, I'll do this, look, anyone who's been through situations, my heart goes out to you if you have, yeah, tell me that when your guy cheated on you, he didn't, that's his normal thing, oh, no, do whatever.
You know what it is, right? If you're somebody that can do that, they can be like, yes, let's do therapy, let's do it, then you are maybe a better woman than me, right? I respect the thing, and I think that you should do everything you can to save your family, right? I don't mean stay in an abusive situation. I mean, through the therapy means maybe he will be better, right? Maybe he's not going to continue to treat you that way. Maybe there's a path that he will change his behavior. Me personally, I am not the kind of person that can get that out of my head. That is going to be in my head forever. Every time you pick up your phone,
you're definitely not I'm not going to person that can get that out.
Every time you pick up your phone, I am going to think, is that what you're doing? Every time you're smiling down at your phone, I'm going to think, is that what you're doing? If we're having a tiff, I'm going to think, are you about to go text? When you mention a woman, when you're talking about a woman, I'm going to think, is that a woman that you're talking not normally to, or are you flirting with?
So for you, basically, that just needs washing away, doesn't it?
I can't do that. Yeah. But if a woman would go through that thing, go through the therapy and put her feelings aside to try and rebuild the thing and give him trust, then I respect that she's able to do that. I'm not able to do that.
Do you know what I don't like about it? I don't like that in order to forgive me, you have to do work. I did something. I did something to you.
Somebody different.
You have to reevaluate and go through this thing in order to accept me.
And you're not building trust with a normal person from zero. You know, when you meet somebody, you build trust from zero. You're building from negatives now. They've already
and told you about dynamics. So before we go to some comments, let me just say my piece on zina. Yeah, I've got 2 questions about it actually. Let me pose my first question. To use fornication as the umbrella term of zina.
Yeah.
It does fall under zina, but zina is not fornication. Yeah? There is, and for instance, the reason that I agree texting is transgressing, yeah? You are flirting with somebody, and wait till I get to my second point. Just hear me out. You are flirting with somebody, and you are transgressing some, I guess, limitations of your mutual agreement of what a relationship should be, which is trust and just me and whatever, right? There is also zina of the tongue. There's also zina of the mind. Now, let's just go to zina of the mind, which also falls under fornication. If you want to say zina is the umbrella term, yeah? You can never be punished for your thoughts in Islam. You're only punished for acting on your thoughts. Yeah. So if I'm thinking sexual things, so this is just me being really technical about the word zina, yeah? You can't say, oh, it's fornication, it's haram. He's fornicating. He's not fornicating because if he was thinking of thoughts, then that falls under zina as well. So is he a fornicator? Should he be punished for the zina of the mind? the zinas have different scales, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So there's zina which is actual physical fornication, which is the only one which is actually punishable in terms of Sharia law, and there have to be
witnesses.
It has to be a lot of it has to be very, very specific circumstances. And there are a lot of conditions which have to be met in order to say that is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The other ones are a bit. So yeah, it is a form of zina, flirting with somebody, but it was also a form of zina when the man was flirting with his wife before he married her. Yeah. And this is my second point that I'm making, yeah. And it's more of a question, yeah. Moral quandary. I have a moral quandary. Could you do that thing? No, do it properly. Go on, do it properly. You didn't move your head back. Move your head back.
I never move my head back. No.
You do that.
No.
Anyway, so here's my question. What are we mad at in this situation?
The betrayal of trust.
Okay, so what are we mad at? And I do have a problem with the word cheating, yeah. Because in Islam, although, if you've watched some of our other videos, I don't necessarily agree with it in today's setting. I do believe there is a setting which makes it okay. In Islam, I can marry another wife. I can marry somebody else. So the cheating thing is a bit of a misnomer, yeah? Because I know you're not okay with me marrying a second wife. The things that I'll be doing outside of that situation, outside of the marriage, when I'm flirting and I'm texting and I can do way more than that in a marriage. Now, is that not still going to stir?
So you're saying the principle of flirting with another woman is not haram in Islam because you're allowed a second wife in Islam? No. I'm saying, what are we mad at? Right.
Yeah.
The betrayal of trust.
I just think it's something to ponder on here. Yeah. Like, what are we mad at? The betrayal of trust. But if I was married to that woman, then it's okay. So are you not gonna? Wait. If I was
that again takes a different kind of woman, and that again is an agreement.
If I was married,
the other women have to be aware.
If I was married to that other woman, would it not stir up the same kind of emotion? No, because I can act on that as my Islamic right. Yeah, according to many people.
But you have to let the other woman know.
I can let you know. Well, according to some people, I don't. Right? I don't agree with this thing, but according to people, I'll definitely.
You play devil.
Of course, I'll definitely find schools of thought. People in the comments tell me, will you find schools of thought? I don't.
You don't even agree with multiple wives.
It doesn't matter whether I agree with it. It's the whole concept within Islam itself. Yeah. So if I can marry another wife. Yeah. And I can do all of these things with her, that's going to hurt you. Yeah. Yeah. Especially in today's world. I get it's not what it was back then. That's going to really, really rip you apart. So what are we mad at? Are we mad at the fact that you didn't permit me to do that? Even though according to some people I can act on it anyway, or are you mad at the fact that it's not halal, or is there because outside of marriage, every interaction is haram, right? Maybe I'm not explaining myself too well. I just think it's an interesting thought to say, well, what are we actually mad at here?
It is an interesting thought, but
not worth including in the video.
You're latching onto the technicalities of what zina is. And
how can you classify something as cheating when you can marry another woman and have sex with them?
Because there's a betrayal of trust.
So you're talking about emotional cheating.
Firstly, I don't agree with the multiple wives thing anyway. Second of all, in the multiple wives scenario, there's an agreement that you know what you're walking into, and the person's aware that you are sharing, and you have agreed to doing that. So if you're the kind of person that can agree to sharing, then that's fine. But why am I suddenly finding myself sharing you? Well, we never agreed to that.
Fair point. I feel I had a point to make and I was exploring it, and maybe you defeated it. Touche, bro.
We're not allowed to call each other bro, remember? They don't like it.
Touche. Mehbooba, what's it?
Habibi.
No, Habibti, okay.
When you go the Urdu route, it sounds real good.
Yeah. Do you know the best thing I can say? Duriya simij jati hai. Vector calling card ke saath.
So good.
The guy in the advert, he had the coldest voice.
Well, that takes me back to my childhood because I remember being a kid and running around my grandparents' house and just hearing this on the TV. You sound like that. My grandparents would be so proud.
If I hold your hand and say, Duriya simij jati hai. Vector calling card ke saath.
Is Vector still out?
I don't know. It's a SIM card. Alright, let's read out some comments.
This one's linked to that point that you made about what are we mad about here. The Islamic side of it.
I hope you phrase it.
Emotional side.
Yeah. So is it Islam or is it emotions? What
so somebody said, I'd say separate yourself from the issue at hand. Do not make it about yourself. When it comes from a place of jealousy, it seems that the only reason you're saying it is for that. When your intention's based on Allah, then you have more to stand on. Don't even sound jealous. Actually be concerned about the sins he's occurring rather than how it makes you feel. I think that thing of hide your jealousy, put that aside, don't care about the emotion.
I don't agree with that.
Bro, that's a big part of the reaction.
No, so this thing about, listen, men don't listen to emotions. They're just going to think you're jealous because you're talking to other women. And obviously, no, this person has a stance already.
Yeah.
On about, okay, look, you're going to be received.
This is a woman that replied this.
Yeah, no, you're going to be received as emotional. And I'm jealous about this. So only approach it from the sin side and say, what, you violated me in the eyes of Allah, which is fine. But why does the...
No, I think she's actually saying your emotions don't matter and only the sin matters. I think she actually believes that. Whether she's been told to believe that.
She's not wrong though, is she?
No, because within your marriage and within your relationship, emotion is important. How you treat the person
I apologise.
and how you respect the person's emotions and their heart matters.
What I meant is that if it's a sin, then the emotions don't matter anyway because it's gone. As in, you don't even have to say that I know that this is okay.
Yeah.
I know that this is technically halal, but this is really hurting me.
Yeah.
Then you take it. Then you don't. Then your emotions matter. But here she's saying it's haram.
Yeah.
So don't even need to argue from an emotional side because it's haram. I think that's valid.
Oh, I thought she was saying more. Put your emotions aside and be like,
No.
I'm really worried for you because of your sins. I'm worried for you.
No. She's saying distance yourself from the emotional side and look, he's transgressed. So you don't even need to say it. But I don't like that she said, oh, because he's gonna think you're jealous and
don't even sound jealous.
Yes, sound jealous because your husband has just violated you. Now you're jealous, now you're angry, now you're upset, now he's a dog, now you want to kick him to the term and say, get your backside out.
Okay, another comment. Ask yourself how your husband would react if he found you flirting with multiple men. He would divorce you on the spot. I don't know why us women give men so much leniency. Okay, so this actually brings in a good point here. Is this a camp way to sit in the video? Nothing's camp with you.
Do you not think, or do you agree that there is a different public response in Islam or in cultures in particular, but even now in Western societies, that men can get away with these things, but for women it's disgusting? For sure, because it's seen as, oh, that's part of the man's nature, or he's bound to do that, or it's harder for men to resist this than it is for women, which I think is mad. And if a woman does it, it's like, how could she? That's so against her nature. What a disgusting woman. Like you're only meant to want one man as a woman, but men are meant to look elsewhere and look like it's so against a woman's nature. Well, it is, right? No, it is against a woman's nature because if you're talking about physiologically, biologically, you can only have one baby. Do you think men naturally want multiple women? Why do I don't want? No. That is so guilty. No, it did sound guilty, but I was drinking water. I think. Yeah, I'm not crazy. I think. You talk about men. I think yes, they do. Oh my God. No. There's a difference on a base level. Yeah. You're taking way too long to answer. No, because I'm thinking about what I'm saying. That's why on a base level. Why have to think so hard? Why? Do you want multiple women? Why do I have to think? Yes or no? Do I want multiple? No. Why are you being a question? Because I want my wife. Are you sure? No, but that's a ridiculous thing to say. Like what? So if everyone was fine with it and it wasn't haram and it wasn't and you were cool with it and all of these, the context of life and everything and understanding change, would you have multiple women? What kind of question is that? What kind of question is that? But how many variables do you have to put into the... Okay, put it like this. No, but you can't. In Jannah, what are you going to ask for? I'm going to ask for just my wife. Why? When you could have multiple? There might be multiple use. I've thought about this. That is what I want. I want multiple. Right, so one of you might not satisfy me. I might want a back massage, but I also might want something else at the same time. So multiple. That sounds a bit risky. Yeah? Make me some food or something. Right. But I'm saying multiple use. Okay, right. That's what I would like. That's my answer. I would love multiple use. I want one to be short and thick. And I want the other multiple you to have curly hair. Babe, you can have a black me, you can have a white me, you can have a Latina me. I want the other. You can have them all. I want the other version of you to look nothing like you. But it's you. I know. I think honestly, at a base level, I think there are too many variables to ask that question. No, I genuinely do. I'm not asking about men. I'm asking about you. No, but that's not okay, though, is it? Like, is it? Would I like? It's a man's nature to want certain things. So who doesn't want to do things that? Why is sin and temptation haram? That's such a. I think it's a silly question. I understand it sounds techy. No, listen. No, it's a silly question.
No, listen, I'm very open though. No, listen, I want to hear your perspective. I'm very open. This is safe, right? I'm open.
I understand that.
I'm open and
I
it's safe.
understand that. I understand that.
As a man, is it an active daily test? Not a daily test, but is it one of your prominent tests that you do want the interaction and the attention of multiple women? Because as a woman, I don't relate to that test.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Not to want the interaction. I don't know how many times I say this in so many videos. I'm intentional with you. My relationship is intentional.
I respect that.
No, but I know, left unchecked, what I can become or what I would be. I know without Islam the kind of man I would be. I know without marriage and Islam the kind of man I would be. I know without I know without marriage, wife, children. That there's so much context which makes me have to behave. Yeah. And I feel like if you're saying, oh, well, at a base level, at a base level, would men just like to plow through women? They probably would, yeah.
Probably would.
No, but they probably would. But when
I can't relate that.
But when you bring in consequences and you bring in actions and you bring in and you bring in the restrictions, it's fine. How many people? Do you see all of them people getting drunk and partying and stuff like that? Do you think that's not an enjoyable thing? It's alright. Do you think that people bunning the chalice and smoking weed and getting high, or people taking mushrooms and having psychedelic experiences, or people gambling and the thrill of God? Do you not think those things are enjoyable things? Of course, they're enjoyable things.
No, but I get that, right? But no, I just find that interesting because genuinely, it's not desirable to me. The drugs thing, I totally get that. Psychedelics, having fun, woo. But having multiple men is not a desirable thing to me. It feels like, so it's really different. I'm saying, like me and you, that's so different because to me it's like gross. To have multiple men touching me is like gross, and it's the romantic thing of the romance is tied to one person in my brain. If it was split with multiple men, that takes the romance away from me. I want the romance with one person.
Yeah, but
when men are doing
no, because my romance is tied to you. It's not about different. It's not about different, and it's not about, oh well, if I was and if. It's not about that. The fact of the matter is, those things are here, and your Islam is, you do what is halal.
Yeah, I get that.
And you live.
I was just curious.
You live within the restrictions.
I just wanted to dabble in your brain and
I told you in Jannah, I have a black you, a Chinese you. One with tough hair, one with no hair. I might go bald.
Maybe, babes.
Maybe.
Right, next comment. Oh, okay. This is one of the responses that I find interesting. It's a really long response, so I'm just going to do the bit
just read halfway or whatever.
So this woman says, I'll tell you, have an exit plan. She says, take your time, 6 months to a year, if you can build security for yourself and your daughter while you're at it. Communicate with them as much as you want to, and take help from mental health practitioners. Involve a learned person. But she's basically saying, even if it's the second time, don't accept betrayal. Even if it was flirting and you just felt jealous, it should matter to him how you feel. Don't let anybody guilt trip you for feeling jealous or wanting better. But she's basically saying,
what do you think of
stack
that?
up.
Yeah, what do you
she's
think
saying,
of that?
don't say anything and stack up for like a year, some security and some savings.
Yeah.
Which I think is really wrong.
I think that's really valid. I think that is an amazing plan.
That is crazy.
No, but isn't there a saying that when women leave, when men leave a relationship, when women leave a relationship and they're gone, they left a year ago and they made their exit plan. And do you blame women in today's? Actually, I don't want to say patriarchal society because that's ridiculous because the matriarch is moving mad. But let's in terms of Islam, now here. Apparently, if you're gonna get married at nikah, you have to register with the get registered as well with the actual registrar of UK law, because look what men can do in marriages.
See, that's the thing. I don't know the ins and outs of how people are treated when it's broken. So maybe I'm talking like from a place where I don't know what I'm talking about.
So it's so easy for
it just feels a bit.
No, I think it's right. I think it's right.
You know what it is? If I was doing that to you, I would feel like I'm tricking you. So you've done something to betray me, but I'm going to stay there, and for a year I'm going to kind of collect money from you, and then I'm going to leave you. But I don't know the situation. Like, so, people who do that, it's not that I judge people who do that. They've probably got a good reason. That's crazy that you're not mad at it.
The reason I'm not mad at it is because the guy. So the guy violated the girl instantly. Initially, he violated the girl. He took advantage of her, of a situation, and thought, look, this marriage isn't that important to me. I need to do this instead, right? And whether you agree, guys should be able to do this or whether it's forgivable, obviously you can tell us in the comments if it's forgivable. So you violated those things already.
Yeah.
So the future or whatever it was looking like,
he's ruined that.
He's ruined that. to some degree, unless he feels like his behavior is forgivable, which is.
But isn't it like sneaky and like lying?
Wait. So then, what the if they decide to break up on this situation here, is she entirely, and she's probably going to be angry and emotional about the situation, understandably.
Spitting his food and stuff.
No, but whatever is it, is she not? Do you expect him to just say, do you know what? You were right. Let me look after you. I did you wrong.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how
what
fair and unfair people.
So what
are
about if he
with
takes the
this
stance and says, she's really overreacting, I was only texting, I can't believe that it's ending like this, so I'm not going to give you no money, I'm going to make it difficult.
See, if that's my little sister or something,
right.
I would hope that she had like made a nest egg basically.
And that's what
I'm saying.
That's why I think it's, if you're arming yourself, you make your thing, because when it comes to push and shove, the men will turn nasty. The men will turn nasty, and you want to hit a man where it hurts, hit him with his money, bro. I don't mean take his money. I mean, when it comes to the breaking up part, the man already was trying to exert some type of dominance over you. When you want to leave and he knows that you're going to be by yourself and unemployed and what is that not, he was in a power position, and now when you're broken, he's still in the power position?
What I take from this is I have your permission. Video. I
would never cheat on you. I would never cheat on you. I would never emotionally cheat on you. I would never physically cheat. That's just something that I'm not capable of doing.
Do you not think, sorry, I know we need to end the video. Do you not think that emotional cheating, because you said you would never cheat on me, and I am confident that I would never
Actually,
cheat on
I probably would emotionally cheat on you, because I think our definitions
That's
are
what I'm saying. I was about to say that. Do you not think that you
could
could slip into emotional cheating and not realise...
No, I would never text anyone flirting, no.
But do you not think, though, that because the definition of emotional cheating is so, like, undecided, that one person could slip into what the other person considers emotional cheating, whereas physical cheating is very, like...
Yeah, obviously. Well, like I said, physical cheating.
Physical
cheating is the only one that's punishable under law. So is it cheating?
Yes.
I don't know if it's cheating. I would say that it's not acceptable.
Babe, I'm flirtatiously texting another man. Am I cheating?
No, I won't use the word cheating. I say, why are you violating, bro? I would never say.
I'm still hung up on the word.
If you were texting other people, I would never say she cheated on me by texting others. Because I just sound like a punk. That's just a stupid definition. So she cheated on me, or should I found her texting other people? All of the guys straight away would be like, he's a bit gay, you know? I'd be like,
you don't like the word cheating?
I don't think it's accurate. No, she cheated on me. I found her sleeping with another. She's having sex with another guy.
So physical stuff is cheating to you?
To me, that emotional stuff is, you're transgressing a boundary. You're violating. Yeah. I understand you're flirting. Is it forgivable? Anything's forgivable. And here's the thing about forgiveness: you can forgive and give your case to Allah, but you don't need to remain in that situation.
Yeah, that's what
if you violated me and did the worst things to me, Wallahi, I love you to bits, and I don't want Allah to punish you. So I'll forgive you, so you can have your thing.
I'll forgive you too.
But I ain't going back there.
Get the therapy, get the help.
No, but I ain't going back there because you tore something inside me and destroyed me. Yeah. And now I only go for these low class women. Don't know what that means. Alright, that's the video. You okay? Let us know what you think. Is it forgivable? Is it grounds for divorce?
I do really respect, if you can forgive that, I do respect that. I really do.
Yeah, some people are more.
If you can stay in that.
If you can stay in that, yeah. And look, if you do stay in those situations, then good on you. Some people have to compromise.
Yeah.
Or think that they have to compromise. And the world is a tough world. Everybody's looking for love.
Some people put the kids first and they're like, you know what, I'll keep doing it.
It's true. May Allah protect you from all of those situations. Yeah, dirty dog. You. So, dirty dog.
Be clean with your phone, guys.
Yeah, be clean with your phone. Alright.
So.
Peace.